It's the Stack Attack Fantasy Podcast, your one-stop shop to dominate fantasy baseball and football. Come get some.
Yo, baby, yo, here we go. Let's start the show. It's the Stack Attack Fantasy Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Trella. With me, as always, my brother from another mother. It's Trader Andy. What's going on today, dude?
What's up, my man? How we doing today?
Hanging in there. Nothing really going on. You all right?
Yeah, it looks like a nice night you got out there. It's nice. I hear the crickets going. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Oh, you hear that?
Yeah.
I thought the crickets were actually one of these slow drafts I'm in. I actually have what the hell league is that? The Belly Up Bowl I'm in, and in the fourth round, we went 35 hours with one pick taken because for some reason Sleeper, when the clock runs out, when the overnight stop starts, they restart the clock in the morning. I'm like, what is this garbage? So yeah, some guy milked 35 hours on the clock in one day.
Wow.
That's bad. That's terrible.
Nick, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Doing good. Driving all over the place today. It's finally home.
Nice.
We're doing good.
Nice. All right. So let's start it off the way we always do. Nick, what do you got? Take a victory lap. Tell us what's going on good.
Victor. Nothing too crazy. You know, football season's ramping up. I'm going to Florida next week for work for a week. We're going to Wildwood at the end of the month, so just a lot to look forward to. That's it right now. And just finished chest day, so it's a great day.
Andy, what do you got for us?
Well, as both you guys know, and the podcast really doesn't matter, but it's my victory lap. I'm a diehard New York Knicks fan, and they just acquired Kemba Walker to run the point guard. And we've spent some money, and we're going to be solid again this year.
Yeah, you sent that to Nick and I in the group text, and I was like, is that good, bad? I mean, who's that? I don't know. My victory lap is last week. We, talking with Lenny Melnick, that just freaking made my month, man. That was awesome. He was amazing. Not only did he just bring it and do a great job with the content, but he spent a good half an hour talking to me and Andy, just giving us a little mentorship. So thanks for that, Lenny. If you happen to be watching, we really do appreciate that. All right, Nick, what's your crash and burn for this week?
So I just moved about 6 months ago to the area here down in Central Jersey, which doesn't exist.
Welcome.
And I love my 2-year-old, and we have 3 girls across the street, and we are literally with them every single night. My daughter loves their daughter, and they have a 4, 2, and a 1-year-old, so it's awesome. But the husband is a huge Jets fan, which is perfect. And I get the casual conversation, hey, do you play fantasy football? So I'm going to play along with it. I'm like, yeah, here and there. I play a little bit with it. And I see what he's doing. He's fishing. He's like, yeah, you want to join our league? It's a $350 league. I'm like, oh. So I looked at my wife, who knows how many leagues I'm in and how much money I spend. But we make it back, and she's shaking her head no. I'm like, why not? It's easy money. She goes, you play in our family league, and you haven't won the championship every year. Like, I've been in the championship 3 out of 4 years. Your team, I managed to the championship last year. That don't matter, though. And then she goes, I don't think you're up. You played against that level of competition before. Like, what?
Wow.
I'm gonna go drink. But then again, maybe she's doing me a favor because I don't know if I can handle another draft, especially that much money.
That's what's funny is most of the leagues that are highly competitive with really good players are free leagues that we play in. Because it's big money. It just means these people have money to burn.
I enjoyed the Scott Fish Bowl. I enjoyed the Scott Fish Bowl last year a hell of a lot more than my $200 work league. Yep. I enjoyed the hell out of Scott Fish. That was the one I wanted to go further in versus my money leagues.
Right. Nick, how many slow drafts do you have going right now?
None right now. I have one that's going to start. What? I have one that's going to start. I just finished my Raz Bowl team, but I was going to talk to you later on about the some etiquette with the slow draft, some opinions on that.
Let's talk about it right now because I got some situations going on. I'm actually in six slow drafts right now. I have 4 going on Underdog. Then the drafting with Giants started today, and your buddy Steffi Smalls has been milking the clock for about 2 hours already.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
my Warrior Bowl, 101 I was 101. I took Mahomes, and then 102 MIA for hours, like 6-7 hours, and but apparently he messaged the day before saying, "Oh, I'm going to be at work. I can't pick." And then I guess the commissioner of Warrior Bowl can see each league's chats. So he jumped in and he said, "Hey, you're 102. Give me 2 players, and I will pick one of those 2 players for you, to move the draft along." He never did. And then I messaged him like, "Hey, can we put a player in?" He goes, "I can't." He never gave me a name. So we sat there for like 6-7 hours waiting for them to get off of work.
Right. See, I don't understand. Like I understand, especially in the Warrior Bowl. That's based out of Europe. So a lot of the players. There's even players from Australia. So the time difference comes into play a lot. But the bottom line is, if you enter one of these large field charity leagues that everybody on Twitter is jumping all over, or even if you enter an Underdog, like, you be present for the first round, like, and then if life gets in the way, life gets in the way. But
I fully get it.
Like, if you're also depending on where you're at, if you're 2 or 3 picks away, you can always set a cue before you go to sleep.
Yep.
If you're 6 or 7 picks away, who knows what's going to happen, and you may not even want to. I mean, Jesus, I'm here live on the air, and I'm making my picks while I have to.
I wake up at work at 3-4 in the morning. Sometimes I woke up at 2 a.m. during a Warrior Bowl and I made a pick, just thinking like, hey, these guys in England are probably awake by now, and let me just make my quick pick, and I'll go back to sleep or whatever. Right. But I mean, the first round, I think it's unacceptable in the first round. Once you get past the first round, I get it. People work, people have lives, but like that first round, everyone's hopped up. I had my computer open. I was all psyched up for Warrior Bowl, and then sitting there staring at 102.
Yeah, but unless you have a job like you're a corrections officer in a freaking prison or something like that, you should be able to look at your phone every 3 or 4 hours at some point at the worst.
This thing's glued to me.
Right. I don't know. All right, Andy, what's your crash and burn other than listening to us ramble about slow drafts for 5 minutes?
Well, I'm going to take a knee here and officially crash and burn on here now. A couple months back, I was asked a question. Me and Jeff both answered it, and I said one answer and he said the other, and I actually lost the thing. Obviously he got hurt, AK-47 or Alex Kirilloff, but Joey Votto has outplayed Kirilloff. Like, he was like one of the hottest players in baseball, and I said Kirilloff would outplay him, and I was wrong, and I'm going to admit it right now. At the time, Votto was batting 190 with 5 home runs. Since then, he was batting 300 with like 16 home runs. The guy's been on fire. So I'll take a knee to that.
He might be the July Player of the Month for the National League. I didn't look for the award, but I mean, he was a stud. So I'll take credit, and I have him on my 30 team league, Votto. So he's been a boon for me. So I'll take that.
Nice.
My crash and burn is baseball also. Anthony Rendon out for the season. two leagues. The AL only auction that Andy and I do. He was our most expensive hitter that we spent on this year, and Andy Spateri's home league, which is I said my number 1 league this year. I lost him. Thankfully, I drafted Ryan McMahon in the bench rounds in that, so I had a easy. I mean, I'm using him every day, obviously, but I had a built-in replacement. So. All right. Anyone got something they want to rant about, or we want to move on, talk about some football?
Yeah, I got one.
Nice.
So before we get into quarterbacks, we all know Carson Wentz is injured. Nelson's out for a while. It's kind of driving me crazy to see people now taking victory laps saying, "Oh, I told you about Jonathan Taylor. I told you he was going to be a bust." The man hasn't taken a snap in a preseason game yet, and people are already saying he's a bust this year. What are we talking about? It's not in the player. We're talking about the quarterback's out, which means you're going to get 7-8-man boxes. The best offensive lineman's out. I saw a stat today, I think on Twitter, it was he's averaging 4 yards a rush on Nelson's side and 2 yards on the opposite side. And I think the Colts have the toughest runs defense schedule in the first half, and then the second half breakout. But I don't know, it frustrates me to see people like, oh, back in May I said Taylor's going to be a bust and should be faded. Nobody expected Wentz to get hurt. Maybe we did, but nobody expected a situation like this.
All right. No, I hear you. And here comes an unpopular but hot take, but we're very involved with this community. The baseball community is just better. It's just more inclusive. There's so many ding-dongs out there in the football community that are just troll city and just not good people. It's real. I don't see that in baseball so much, man. There's people out there that are just out to gotcha and that are ready to jump on you when something goes slightly wrong. Like, I mean, I saw what you're talking about today, like saying anyone that's downgrading Taylor was taking an easy way out of a bad take. Like,
no, not at all.
And he's very well respected. I'm not going to say his name on here, but that was just bad. Like you make a take, and then you're obviously, if you have rankings, you have to downgrade it. Like,
of course,
what else are you supposed to do? Say, I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to draft him at number 4 overall, even though he's hurt.
With the offense, Taylor was my RB5. I mean, now he's in the Eckler territory with me. I mean, I still love the player, but now you got to look at the schedule and the quarterback situation, and obviously losing probably the best lineman in football, in my opinion, the interior lineman at least.
Right. Cool. All right. I feel you on that, man. But and that's the other thing too, is like, you're allowed to be wrong. Like,
yeah.
How many things do we talk about?
It's a very polarizing topic, though, Jonathan Taylor. It's like two completely different aisles, and there's like no in the middle. It's either you love him or you hate him. And if you hate him, you're going to try and basically knock somebody for taking him over Zeke, Saquon, or Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, etc.
Right. Heard. All right. Well, we're here to break down quarterbacks today. So let's start a little bit globally. Most people's home leagues are one quarterback. So let's just mention Superflex real quick and get it out of the way. Nick, as a general strategy, and Andy, you could add in too, when do you usually want to look for a quarterback in Superflex? What's the earliest you'll do it? What's the latest you'll do it?
So my one long-standing home league, this year they want to go to Superflex, and I'm going quarterback round 1. My first 2 picks either will be quarterback or quarterback running back, depending on the board.
Nice. I just did one that I went. What did I do? I went quarterback 2nd and 3rd in a Superflex after Kelsey in the first.
Still fun.
I love it.
You just got to stack those running backs later on.
Andy, you're a big quarterback Superflex also. I think you did that in Fish, right?
Yeah. I definitely want to get 2 quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds, probably in the first 3 rounds if possible, and fade the wide receivers.
Yep. Now, that's something I wanted to ask you, Nick. Moving on kind of to a one quarterback, but we as a collective believe wholeheartedly in the 0 wide receiver theory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, does waiting until round 5 or later to take your first wide receiver, while most other teams have 2, maybe even 3, does that lend us to maybe taking somebody like Mahomes in the 3rd round? If we could get running back, are we able to do that, or we're staying away from that?
I won't do it. So last year, one of my home leagues, I was confident in my draft ability. I said, you know what? I took Kamara in the 1st, and I said, you know what? Let's be different here. I took Mahomes in the 2nd, and I regretted it the entire season. I could have had Aaron Jones there. I did make the semifinals. It was a struggle, a hardcore struggle, but I didn't like my makeup of my team. I think I'm better off going running back, tight end, running back. Stack the running backs, because once you get to the 5th, 6th round, you're in timeshares and who knows what after that.
So you're confident in your draft strategy?
Yeah.
Okay. Your wife's not, so I was just
no, she's not. She's not.
If you were,
no, I drafted her entire team the last 3-4 seasons of this home league and managed it all season long. But you
got free money in your neighborhood, and she's telling you no.
God. Free money, 1900 to first.
Wow. But Nick, what about this angle? All right, now I'm a Kelsey guy. I'm a Kelsey in the 1st. I'm Kelsey at 104. That's what I'm doing. And it doesn't even have to be Kelsey. What if you build your team? Let's say with, and the players don't matter. It's the build. Say you go Kelce, Aaron Jones, Mahomes, and Swift. So you got two very good running backs. You got a tight end leverage over everybody. You got Mahomes leveraged over everybody. And then you go into your wide receivers at that point.
It's not terrible. I looked at CBS this morning. The draft room has Kelce in a full point PPR, I think 4th or 5th overall now. Like the helium's there. The helium's there, and he's going to be taken all over. And I could see that pushing a Darren Waller, a George Kittle into the 2nd round, maybe even the 1st, depending on who you're drafting with, because these home leagues are completely out of left field. But that's the problem that right now you're looking at. You have the first 4 picks, I think, are locked in. You have CMC, you have Dalvin Cook, you have Kamara, you have Henry. I think those are the top 4 picks, at least in my opinion, in redraft. What do you do at 5? I feel like any running back you take could be taken at 9 or 10. Zeke, Saquon, Taylor's getting faded. I won't go receiver. I mean, maybe it is Kelce there. And then you take Antonio Gibson. I think I saw one of the CBS crew, I think it was Jamie, he put it up there this morning. Why would you could take Kelce with the 5th pick, and then you get Antonio Gibson on the flip?
Yeah.
That's a very
I've done that several times.
I like that a lot.
I've done that several times. My rankings are a little bit different for the top 4 than everybody else. So I'm kind of setting myself up for a crash and burn because I basically put CMC 1, Henry 2, Cook 3, Kelce 4. That's how I rank it. So
what about the format though? Would you put Henry above Kamara and Cook in a PPR format?
Like no, I'm taking Henry at 2, no matter what their format is. I don't care. He was number 3 running back in a PPR setup last year. That's the thing with the first round, especially at a running back. I don't need, if I draft him 2nd overall, I don't need him to be the 2nd overall. I just need him to be a steady top 5, 6 running back, and I need him to be healthy and give me consistency. Yeah. And I know I'm getting that from Henry. And Dalvin Cook may have a better year than him. I'm not gonna sit back and say that I lost because at number 2 overall, I took Derrick Henry and left Cook on the board, and then they both went on to have great seasons and Cook outranked him. I didn't lose if I got what I wanted out of Henry, and that's the way I look at it. So that's why I rank him that way. I have question marks about Kamara, so I'm just I'm not confident in taking him before Kelce. So I'm going to be in over 30 leagues this year, not including best balls, and I'm probably gonna have Kelce or Henry, if not both, on probably 75% of them because I haven't gotten the number 1 pick once yet.
I have the 3rd pick in a full point PPR, and it's Kamara or Henry for me right there at 3.
Right.
So it's a month-long decision I have.
I twice today had the number 2 pick and took Henry, and people ask me
that's the problem.
What the hell are you doing? I'm like, I don't want the number 2 pick. I want the number 4 pick.
And into the quarterback, I don't think the Saints are going to commit to one long-term quarterback all season. I think they're going to mix and match. I think if they say Jameis is starting, you're going to see Taysom Hill come in and take that goal line carry. You're going to see him come in, and Kamara's going to just be sitting there. So maybe you do take Henry at 3.
Right. All right. Well, we've been on the air for 20 minutes, and we haven't mentioned one quarterback yet, and this is our quarterback show. So let's get to
quarterbacks it is.
All right. So we'll start off. We'll go in ADP order. You tell me, tell me what kind of exposure you have, what scenarios you're taking each guy, what you think about him, what your expectations are. So Mahomes is obviously the one-on-one of quarterback.
DJ LeMahieu, baby. Sorry.
Dude, it's football, man. You're the football guy. Stop worrying about
this guy doesn't even pay attention.
Yeah.
All right. So Mahomes has a late bye week, 12. That's kind of important. His ADP is 26. So you're looking at him in the 3rd round. You already said that you're not doing it.
4th, I will.
I mean, there will be leagues that do that.
Yeah, late 3rd, but he'll be gone everywhere. You're going to have your average person that picks up a fantasy magazine the day before. You say, "Oh, Mahomes, I know Mahomes. Take him round 1."
Right. Do you believe him and Rodgers? Their INT percentage last year was 1%. Both of them. 6 INTs, 588 attempts. That's ridiculous.
That's insanity.
All right. So Mahomes is a cheat code, but we're not going to have him too many places.
Yeah.
In a super flex, we're doing whatever we can to get him.
Yeah.
Right. I have no dynasty shares. That's disappointing. I should have done some dynasty startups 4 years ago because I would have been all over him. But all right, Josh Allen, Andy, you like this guy or you're staying away from it? ADP 38, has a bye week in the middle of the season, week 7.
I mean that's good. The bye week is good. The rushing yards I think has come down the past year, and it might come down a little more. But he's really good. I just don't know if I'm going to spend the pick to get him.
Nick, where you at?
I'm on record. I did not like Josh Allen come out of the draft, and he proved me wrong last year.
Right.
I don't know. The price still seems a little high for me. I probably would stay away from him. I personally like Kyler better.
I do too. There's just red flags with Allen for me. He had his completion percentage went up over 10% year over year. They had the heaviest percentage of pass plays in the league by far. They had that one game that they had like 5 rushing attempts. And
if I'm not mistaken, they added Matt Breida, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so they have Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, Matt Breida. I mean,
right.
Maybe Zach Moss starts taking goal line carries. I don't know.
Right. All right. So I think we're all on the same page. If you're gonna use pick 38, which is early 4th round on Josh Allen, you're better off just waiting until the end of that round and taking Kyler Murray.
You get the running ability, which I think he said he's going to run less this year, but you still get that running ability.
Right. You believe he's in the league, what, 2 years, right?
Yeah, first pick 2019.
Right. And he's only the 3rd player to ever rush for 3,000 yards and rush for 500 yards and pass for 3,000 2 years in a row. It's only the 3rd time it's happened. So the sky's the limit with this guy. I think one of the things too that separates him, that allows for him to take that next step, is he was pretty poor last year at intermediate throws. Like, he was very good at the dump off, and he has a great deep ball as well. And he has that scramble ability like Mahomes does. But I think with the new receiving core and with freaking your boy Rondell Moore,
he looks good. He looks
good, and he's a burner. So he's going to get down the field and allow Hopkins to be in his normal role. AJ Green, these guys are great possession receivers.
Green looks good too.
That intermediate like is going to be a lot better. I know that's your guy, Andy, and you're expecting big things. I know we're talking quarterbacks here, but it just seems like there's so many more teams now that have 3 viable fantasy receivers, and that's just why a 0 wide receiver works.
Yeah, 100%.
That's another one. All right, so I rank Murray over Allen myself, even though the ADP doesn't say that. You guys do as well?
Yep.
All right, Andy, I know you're big on the Lamar train. He had a down year last year, but he ended up as quarterback number 10 overall. Still had 1,000 yards. The 1,000 yards represented the 3rd best total by a quarterback in history. Obviously, his rookie year was the first when he had 1,200 yards. So do we expect him to take that step back into the top 5 this year? He's being drafted as if he will.
I think so. As soon as he gets cleared with the COVID, he'll be ready to roll. But I think he's going to have they put some nice weapons with him now. They drafted some wide receivers. I love the running game. I think he's poised to break back into where he was.
The issue with him, I think, right now is Marquise Brown, which he didn't do much last year after being overhyped. He's got the hamstring injury. Rashad Bateman's a rookie who is a very good rookie. They have J.K. Dobbins, who I think breaks out. They have Gus the Bus from RU. I think they're going to pound the rock a little bit there, too. I think that's going to take away from Lamar's just fantasy points. I think he's going to be a great quarterback, don't get me wrong, but for fantasy, I think he's going to get vultured.
Right. The one thing I heard about I heard about Lamar was in college, his number 1 receiver every year was 6'4" or higher. And Marquise Brown is 6 foot tall. So I think that's part of why Mark Andrews is his number 1 target.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Let's see how that goes. They did draft a lot of receivers. They're not breaking in. I don't know. I'm still up on him. I'd rather personally have Lamar at that price of ADP 50 than Allen at 38.
I would too.
I think I have Lamar over Allen still in my rankings. I have Lamar at 3, and I have Lamar at 4, and I have the next guy at 3, which is Dak. So where are you guys at with Dak? I know we're drafting him quite a bit. So
concern with the shoulder strain, shoulder soreness, whatever he wants to call it. A little concerned, but if he's fully healthy, which I hope he is, I mean, CeeDee Lamb looks like he's going to be a bona fide wide receiver 1 this year.
Yep.
Amari Cooper is Amari Cooper. They say Gallup's making strides. Blake Jarwin's back. Dalton Schultz, Zeke, Tony Pollard. They're stacked.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And their defense is horrible, and that's a big thing. Yeah,
absolutely terrible.
Bad defense equals lots of passing yards. So,
yep, bring it on, baby.
All right, so we're definitely Dak is being drafted right about the same as Lamar. They're less than a pick away from each other in ADP, both at 50.
I got Dak over him.
Yeah, I'm pretty close on them. All right, number 6 in ADP at number 61. Is Justin Herbert, and I can't do it.
That's the homer in you. That's the homer in you.
I can't do it.
Personal vendetta.
It really is. It really is.
They said Tua had a nice throw today.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. He's down the road a little bit, but I don't know, man.
Stacked offense. I mean, it's not even. I mean, he's played great, but you can look at his offense: Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler. I mean, it's a stacked talent right there. Jared Cook, I think, is going to have an impact too.
Right. It's the youngest in NFL history with 30 touchdown passes. And to think he was going to sit the season out if it wasn't for a doctor puncturing Tyrod Taylor's lung.
That's wild. I still can't get over that.
Unbelievable.
That's wild.
So at ADP 61, are we doing it or no?
Yeah, there's still some guys I would take over him here.
Right.
But I like Herbert.
Yeah, I have no shares. I don't think I'm gonna because I'd rather have.
I think he's going too high.
I'd rather have the next guy
a couple
picks later is Russell Wilson.
Oh, not him. No, never mind.
There's another one. This is actually I'm going in NFFC ADP order for the last 10 days. So this is after Aaron Rodgers basically said, "Hey, I'm going to play."
That's what I'm looking for here.
So, but yeah, he's being drafted 9th overall still.
That's steal.
It's a steal. So we'll get there. So Russell Wilson, I'm interested because of the offensive coordinator change. Their new offensive coordinator used to be the passing game coordinator for the Rams. So we might be seeing a little bit different offense, a little bit less of the Pete Carroll obsession with the run.
Well, not even Pete Carroll. I mean, any Jet fan watching this can extremely relate. Brian Schottenheimer. I absolutely could not stand him as the offensive coordinator back in the Mark Sanchez days. I was ground and pound all day long, which is nothing wrong with it, but he was just I couldn't get over he was in Seattle calling plays for Russell.
Right. All right. So I think in a 1 quarterback league, this is where I start getting interested.
Mm-hmm.
It's Wilson.
This is where the line's drawn.
Yeah, this is where I start looking. That's 62. So you're looking at like the 6th round. So at this point, you probably have 3 running backs, 2 receivers, maybe 3 receivers if you were smart enough to take Kelsey or Waller up top. So yeah, this is where you could start looking right about here, and I'm happy with it.
6-7 is where I start looking.
Right, and Wilson's still going to give you that 500 rushing yard kind of average, maybe a little bit lower than that. But that's the thing. It's really hard. You look at the next guy is Brady being drafted at 76th overall, the 8th quarterback. He just doesn't run for more than the 1 yard touchdown plunge, and that's it. He doesn't run at all. So it's hard. Like he had. Do you realize that last year Brady had the 2nd most touchdowns in his career? I couldn't believe that. Like
that's insane.
Yeah, he had 40 touchdowns. That was only the 2nd time he had over 40 touchdowns. He's always been a 5,000 yard guy though.
43 last year.
Yep. So it's just hard because even with 40 touchdowns and over 4,000 passing yards, he was still only quarterback number 8 because he only rushed for like 5 yards.
There's just 6 yards. 6 yards.
Oh.
And he had 3 touchdowns. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that's what he does.
He's the king of the 1 yard run.
He's one of the best. He might be the best from the 1 yard line of all time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm really other than as a super flex where I do that quarterback number 2 real fast. I don't think I'm going to have too much Brady.
He's my QB1 in Rasball.
Yeah, that's a super flex. So, no, it's not a super flex.
He fell.
It's a hybrid.
Late.
It's a hybrid.
He fell really late.
A best ball hybrid like that, you have to look at it as a super flex because you're going to be using all your quarterbacks. All right, so you do have one share of Brady so far.
I got one and done. One and done.
I think I have a dynasty share somewhere, but that's not going to change.
Oh, actually, I do actually.
Right. All right, so let's talk about Mr. Aaron Rodgers. 53 touchdowns, 6 INTs, NFL MVP. Everybody scammed us all offseason when we were fading it, saying, like, I'm not playing this game. I don't know if he's going to be in Denver. I don't know if he's going to sit out. And everybody that took the value is getting paid off now. But it still seems like there's value there. At 76 overall, the 9th quarterback taken, I think I'm in on that now.
If he was playing, he didn't pull this shit, all this stuff, the shenanigans, I probably would have taken him round 2 in Fishbowl if he was there.
Right.
Because you're getting a top-notch quarterback right there.
Right.
I probably would have put him over Herbert.
Right. We're at the point now he's not going to run much anymore, so he needs to do it with the volume in the passing game and the touchdowns. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and predict 50 touchdowns for anybody. If he gets in that 35-40 range, he'll be among the league leaders, I would assume. The INTs are low. It's pretty easy, man. With those weapons, he should be good to go.
Yeah. Randall Cobb back.
Right. All right. Yeah, I like that, man. I have a couple of spots where I've taken him.
Yeah, why not?
All
Chemistry's there.
So if you miss out on Rodgers, Stafford to me is a pretty nice consolation prize.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan, man. I'm loving him. I love him this year.
That offense.
8 4,000-yard seasons. Come on, man. And he's never been healthy, and he has 8 4,000-yard seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a steal at his current. I love him. He's got Cooper Kupp. He's got Robert Woods, Van Jefferson. They have all this talent around him.
Right.
Higbee.
Andy can never get enough Higbee. See, you know what's crazy too? He has the most touchdowns and passing yards in NFL history by someone who has never won a playoff game.
Wow.
He got robbed in that Dallas game.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm big on this. I think he's going to be a boon. Late bye week. I like the late bye weeks. Number 11, 83 going in the 8th round. I'm in.
Yeah, and I didn't mention too earlier with the with strategies too. If you're taking one of these early quarterbacks, not this tier more so, but like the Kyler, Josh Allen, Mahomes with the late bye, I wouldn't even draft a second quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with you.
In a standard home redraft, it's the same thing with tight end. You take Kelsey in round 1, you should not be taking a tight end at all, unless it's a super flex or a premium or anything.
Right. I tend to agree with you on that. I in my opinion, the next 5 or 6 guys are all kind of interchangeable, and I don't know if you didn't get in the top 10 with Stafford, I'd probably wait until the bench rounds to take my quarterback then, because I feel pretty good about let's group them together. Hurts, Tannehill, Burrow, Lawrence, maybe Matt Ryan. So of those 5, who's jumping out at you?
Hurts, Burrow, Trevor, Tannehill, and what was the other one?
Matt Ryan.
Tannehill and Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw today Bengals camp, Burrow struggling. Pass rush is crushing their offensive line. What a shocker. They should have took Penalty Sewell. No big deal. Don't need to protect your valuable quarterback or anything. But, yeah, I fade Burrow on that alone. I'm taking Tannehill or Ryan over him. Hurts he's the wild card. He had a great finish to the season. Can he recuperate it? Can he do it again? We don't know.
But that's the thing, is that the upside is that he's Kyler Murray.
Yeah, the upside's league winning.
Yeah, this guy has the potential for 700 to 1,000 rushing yards.
Every draft you look for this year's Lamar Jackson. I mean, could he be it? We don't know, but he very possible.
Yeah. See, I kind of like the idea of going safe and upside. So if I'm going to take Hurts in round 8, so I basically have established my starters. I'm gonna take a second quarterback quickly.
Yeah, right away, like
quickly.
Round 9 and 10.
And I'm going to try to get Lawrence or Tannehill at that point to put with him, because the chance that Hurts ends up on the waiver wire is a possibility. Like, he may just suck.
Yeah,
he's inaccurate. He doesn't have a strong arm. You're basically just buying the legs, which is kind of unfortunate now that we've really demented fantasy football to the quarterback is really just about running and nothing else. I think we might have to go back to more 6-point touchdown pass leagues.
You get a 4-point touchdown. Who cares? Every quarterback throws.
The legs are much more important, right? Yeah. And at that point, what's the difference between 30 touchdown guy and a 40 touchdown guy? If that's only 40 points, but the 30 touchdown guy is running for 600 yards.
In a super flex, if it's a 6-point touchdown, I'm taking that quarterback round 1, round 2, easy. Round 3, maybe, whatever.
Right. All right. So Hurts at 85. You'd probably rather just wait till after pick 110 and take Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
He throws a lot of interceptions, but
it's Kyle Pitts now.
He's always throwing the ball.
Yep. They're always behind.
Right. And he had no help in the passing game from the running back last year. And Mike Davis is much better than just adequate. He's good in the passing game. So that might work for him.
Ooh, and they got Devontae Freeman now too. Ooh, yeah.
That was the Saints.
Oh, the Saints got him? I thought he came back to the Falcons.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I love Devontae Freeman.
Is that your throwback player of the week?
No. He's not that good.
He's usually retired, right?
Yeah.
All right, Nick, you breezed over Trevor Lawrence. You're not in on this?
I have him. I think in Fishbowl I took him.
You have to be. Their defense is horrible.
I like him.
They're going to be throwing the ball all day long.
I take absolutely no stock in them saying, like, I think the other day he threw 3 picks in training camp. I take no stock in that. He's going to be fine. He's very safe, I think. I don't think he's going to blow it up, but I think he's going to be very in the middle of the pack, very safe.
He's going as the 14th quarterback overall.
Yeah, so he's a backup in a standard 12-team league.
Right. I think where the industry's getting it wrong with him is most projections that you see out there are giving him like 200 rushing yards. I watched almost every goddamn game this guy played in college. He's capable of 500-600 rushing yards. He absolutely is. He's great with the ball in his hands. I mean, he's not a burner or anything like that.
No.
He just has the same athleticism and skill with the ball in his hands that Ryan Tannehill does. And nobody gives Tannehill credit for his rushing ability, but that's what makes him good. He's a 500-yard rushing ability guy. And I truly believe that Lawrence will be that, and nobody's projecting for that.
Yeah. It's fine.
So
Let him sleep.
With the weapons, the fact that they're going to be a losing team, they're going to be playing from behind all the time. This guy, he actually, even with ATN, he only checked down less than 10% of the time while at Clemson. Everything and maybe that's what they see in ATN as a possible wide receiver at times is a lot of his pass attempts weren't checkdowns. They were design runs and, bubble screens and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm buying in. I've been buying in on Trevor Lawrence since the first day I saw him. So I'm not going to, now that he's in the NFL, back down because he's on the Jaguars. How is all this Laviska Shenault love going to come to fruition if Trevor Lawrence isn't a quarterback one?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So Hypocrites, I tell you they are. All right, so we're basically out of that. There's a couple of upside guys. I'm sure, Nick, you want to talk about Fields a little bit?
Yeah, he's going to Matt Nagy's not going to start him right away. I think it's been pretty clear. He's been clear about it, but Justin Fields is too good not to play. He is that league winner. He has that league winning potential. Allen Robinson, David Montgomery, Mooney's out there. He's got the weapons. He's got the talent. I think by week 2 or 3, he's starting, and he's going to go undrafted, I think, in a lot of these leagues, or very, very, very late, because people are going to say, oh, he's not starting, so I'm just going to take somebody else. And that's the mentality you're going to be going against some of these home drafts. So I like Fields a lot as a QB2.
And the Bears have a brutal start of this season too. So
yep.
They're going to let Dalton get creamed, and then they're going to bring him in.
Yep, exactly.
They're sending him out there to get injured.
Intentionally.
Hey, go get hurt, man.
Yeah, go puncture a lung.
I actually heard that Dalton's really bought into Fields and spent a lot of time and trying to develop him and their relationship. So it's not like an Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love type situation, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers situation. So he's giving him all the information he needs. So I think it'll be good.
Nice. So Nick, I'm of the mindset that when you're looking at this, like you're talking about how Fields could be a league winner.
Yeah.
Is there any reason at all then to have Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Big Ben? Why would you have any of these guys on your team?
Well, they're
when you could just take you could take Fields and just wait for the upside and pray.
Yeah, they're backups. That's as
right.
Simple as that. But I'd rather have Fields, obviously. If I'm taking, I don't know, if I'm taking Matt Stafford or Ryan Tannehill, yeah, I'm going to pair him with Justin Fields. Situation like that, I'm definitely taking him as my QB2. I mean, I'd rather have him than Baker. Baker's good, don't get me wrong, but Fields can win you a league.
But would you do that? Like if I had Stafford, who we all love, why would I waste on Justin Fields where I know I'm sold on Stafford?
Injury history.
I just want to grab that one guy that will fit into the.
If I take a Kyler or anything like that, I probably wouldn't even bother taking him. Or if value presents itself, that's the only other reason.
Andy, let me answer that question for you. When you draft Matt Stafford as the 10th quarterback overall, you're drafting him knowing that he's going to be between the 8th and the 12th quarterback by the end of the season if he stays healthy, right? With Fields, this guy could be QB1. It could happen, right? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I'm more on Lance. But that's the possibility. Why you would draft somebody like that is just for the possibility that something happens that none of us saw coming, and he's just an absolute league winner. And it does tend to happen almost every year.
He's on a good team, too. He's on a playoff team.
Yep. So I'm higher on Trey Lance than that. And that's actually my best bet of the week. My prop bet of the week is Trey Lance to win the Rookie of the Year at plus 850.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow.
Last year I was on Burrow to win it, and he was going to win it until he MCL'd himself. This year, the Rookie of the Year right now looks Lawrence is the heavy favorite at plus 300. I think that's a good bet. And then after that is Pitts at plus 750, which I think is dead money.
Yep.
Najee Harris is plus 800, which is probably a good bet, but the award always goes to a quarterback as a tiebreaker. So I would take Lance at plus 850 or Fields at plus 850 over Lawrence at plus 300. But I'm a Lance guy over Fields, so you could go either way with that. All right, one noticeable omission that we had as we're talking about quarterbacks, because I just don't even want to say his name anymore, is Deshaun Watson. Where are we at with that?
Pass.
That's a no thank you?
Nope, no thanks. Out of here.
Move on.
Not touching.
All right. You know what time it is?
Game time.
No, it's 2:00, right? It's 2:00.
Oh.
Let's talk about my guy.
I think you should exit stage after that joke.
Oh boy. All right. So I think Tua is the most disrespected quarterback in fantasy sports and in real sports. I don't understand why his prop is like 23 passing touchdowns and only like 185 rushing yards. I'm going to hammer the over in rushing yards big time. Last year, him and Fitzpatrick were 2 and 4 in the league in fastest release times. The whole offense was built on a 3-step drop, get rid of the ball, throw it to the tight ends because they didn't even have wide receivers. It's going to be different now. He's going to be in the pocket a lot more than what everybody's used to. The offensive line is better than it was last year. He's got such a ridiculously good deep ball, and he's got the Patrick Mahomes ability to throw while he's scrambling and the innovative and playmaking ability like that. I can't see how he ends up as quarterback 21 for fantasy like he's being drafted. I think he's going to be a high-end quarterback too. I think he'll be closer to that range where Matt Ryan is, and he's being criminally underdrafted. I took him in the 4th round of the Scott Fish Bowl. I mean, I know that was bold and a little bit out of sequence, but it was a guy I'm like, this is where I plant my flag. This is going to be my guy. I'm going to do it. With those weapons, I don't see how it possibly fails.
You said 180 yards?
Yeah, his prop is like 180 yards rushing.
So they're basically saying 10 yards a game.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. He played last year on a reconstructed hip. Like he had a grandma injury. Like I hate to say, but have you seen pictures of him? This guy's diesel now, bro. He's not a little guy anymore. He built up, man. He built up strength. He's going to be all right. Like he's a perfect quarterback too in Superflex. Absolutely. And the chances of him popping off more than somebody like Fields, no, I don't think so, because he's not going to run for 600, 700, 800 yards. But I think that he's being disrespected. So go get some. Fitzpatrick, what do we think? 164 overall. You prefer him over Derek Carr? They're being drafted the same.
Give me Derek Carr for job security.
Okay.
Yep.
So you think Fitz's job is in jeopardy?
I think, yeah. I think Henneke played very well last year. I think Ron Rivera's even hinted to it that it could be a quarterback competition right now.
Okay. Did you see Fitzpatrick every year? He has 5-6 games in a row where he's a monster. Then he gets taken out because he gets struggles. He takes a lot of chances, and then he comes back. It's just a roller coaster ride.
He's going to come out week 1, throw for 500 yards, rip out his chest hair, do the whole big fiasco, and then week 2 he's going to throw for 5 yards. He's going to be my waiver wire article, and then disaster.
All right, Nick, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints?
Jameis Winston, but I don't think it's going to be committed. I think you're going to see Taysom Hill coming in and stealing touches and stealing goal line stuff, and I think it's going to be a disaster. For some reason, Sean Payton loves him. I don't know why. Jameis Winston, I think, deserves a chance.
He did, and he went 30-30.
Yeah, but he got LASIK.
So now he can see them, right?
Now he's 20/20.
Right. So, yeah, I'm not going to have Jameis anywhere, but I'll have some Taysom Hill just because there's a floor. Because even if he's not the starting quarterback,
here's the more important question: is he tight end eligible in any of the leagues? Because last year he was.
God. Please, God, don't do that.
I think he was tight end eligible in ESPN last year. Was it ESPN?
Yeah, it was ESPN. It was ESPN, and then after like 2 weeks, they walked it back.
Yeah, they realized
made him QB only. I'm like, come on, figure it out.
You can't do that.
One of the DFS sites had him as a tight end for a little while too.
That's fantastic.
I don't remember. I remember having a DFS lineup, and I had 2 quarterbacks in it. I'm like, well, I'm your rich friend this week, but he was like 98% owned.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So we're just not even messing with Winston at all, right?
No, don't touch.
There's no reason to do this.
It's more so that situation more so affects skill position, not the quarterback, because nobody's touching those guys.
Right. All right. Well, now I have a question for you. How horrible is it to be a Jets fan that you move on from Sam Darnold, who's the 27th fantasy quarterback, and you get Zach Wilson, who's the 29th fantasy quarterback.
Disrespect.
Is it the same disrespect as Tua? And people are going to get surprised?
Have you been watching Jets training camp? Have you been
I try my very best not to.
I don't blame you. But, I mean, it's the Elijah Moore show, which we will talk about in a couple of weeks. But I think Wilson's been doing pretty well in camp. I wouldn't expect him to be a QB1 this year, but I would expect respectable numbers out of him. I think he's having a better season than Sam Darnold. That's for sure.
And reports are saying that Darnold is struggling right now in camp pretty bad too.
Yeah, he's throwing picks already. Shocker. Yeah. Zach Wilson's throwing bombs to Elijah Moore all day long, and it's amazing.
Let me ask you a question about Darnold. I saw every year in his career, he's been in the bottom 5 of pass attempts inside 5 yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he basically doesn't throw to the running back. Does that give you cause for concern for CMC, or is it a completely different system and he's going to have to adjust to the system?
I think CMC is QB proof. You got Joe Brady running the offense in Carolina, so Joe Brady's the next head coach next year, so he's got something going on there. I wouldn't worry about McCaffrey, but I think Darnold. I like Darnold when we draft him, but I think he's broken.
All right, so we're basically looking at both of these guys as QB3s, right?
I think yeah. I think next year Wilson could be a 1-2 borderline, but not this year.
Okay. All right, Jared Goff. Any interest?
Yeah, it's pretty low. I wouldn't take him, but that's pretty low.
You're getting him basically for free at
he's free.
ADP 195. So
yeah, he's free. I mean, I wouldn't touch him really.
Right. I have him as a backup in a couple spots. I have a dynasty league that I start Kyler Murray and it's a 1 quarterback and he's my backup, and I'm more than happy with that because
that's fine.
I don't want to have to make a decision at quarterback ever. So he's a perfect guy in that situation.
He's I was reading that he's going over with Amon-Ra St. Brown, some Cooper Kupp tactics. So he's trying to mold him into that fitting.
That works for me.
Which would be fantastic.
That works for me. All right. Why is Cam Newton the last quarterback being drafted of the starters?
Because Mac Jones is going to take over at some point. People don't know when.
That's disgusting.
It's disgusting. That's what the deal is right now.
Okay, so but what do we expect out of Mac Jones though? Nothing.
I don't know, nothing. But here's the thing: I'm taking Matt Stafford round 8. I'm taking Tannehill round 10. Why would I take Cam Newton when I would need Cam Newton immediately? It would just make no sense to take Cam Newton. Maybe have him for your bye week, and then he's not starting by your bye week.
Jeff is taking Cam Newton.
I'm taking a lot of Cam Newton, bro.
Yeah. You have to realize that Belichick just said that he's the quarterback. He's doing good, and even Jeff brought up some stat about him being one of the most consistent passers, even though people don't think he's consistent. I think that's a tremendous value, and I think taking him as the last quarterback is free money.
I've taken him as my number 3 quarterback in Superflex twice already. I have him in the fishbowl too, and
it's great value.
I absolutely love it.
Oh, it's great value
because his upside is being a top 10 QB for fantasy. Absolutely, because he's got a 450 rushing yard floor.
And you mentioned it too. He loves Greg Olsen. You get as Jonnu Smith calls it, the Boston tight end party, the Boston Tea Party, which I might be stealing.
All right.
No, nothing.
No. That's it. All right, where are we at with Tyrod Taylor? I know we have a couple shares of this guy.
If he starts, which I think he will, I think Tyrod's a very decent option. I wouldn't start him. I wouldn't draft him, but I think he might be a serviceable bye week replacement if you draft, say, Mahomes, and you're looking for that 1 week, matchup play. But that's it.
All right, so he's boring.
Yeah, pretty much. And then if he's not doing great, Davis Mills comes in and don't even look.
All right, so where are you at, Nick, with Carson Wentz now and that whole situation?
Nope.
Cross him off then?
Yep, Nick Foles is going to come in, save the day, just like last time.
Right. Now, Andy, I know I told you to buy some Eason rookie cards.
I got him.
I know. But I think that it's a possibility that might be a dud because I really think that there's a really good chance that he'll get passed over and Sam Ehlinger becomes the quarterback of this team.
They love that kid.
He looks good, and for fantasy wise, he's got the legs, man. He doesn't have a big arm, but he's got the legs and the playmaking ability. So I think that he could pop off for fantasy.
Yeah, they love him.
Yep, there's a lot of good reports coming out that this is going to be a battle. So we shall see. I don't know what Wentz's contract looks like, but
I was listening to somebody from the Indy Star who was on Sirius XM the other day, and they said they have no interest in bringing a vet right now, and which they should bring a vet, he thinks, but they said no, they don't have no intentions right now.
All right, Nick, you got any more nuggies out there, quarterback related or anything
Chicken
else?
Nuggies, yeah. Nothing right now.
No nuggies.
We talked about it. The home leagues. My strategy is just wait on the QBs. You take that quarterback early. That's it. You're not taking another one for the rest of the draft. You take one that's 7 to 10 range. All right, take 2 quarterbacks. You can matchup play. Whoever has a better matchup, start them that week. But yeah, I'm not a big reach for quarterback guy unless somebody falls like drastic, like Kyler falls around 6. Like something drastic has to happen for me to jump like that.
Right. All right, cool. Good job. All right, Andy, you got a throwback player for us before we head out of here?
I do. Let's see who can guess this one. My money is on Jeff, but we'll see what happens. All right. Now, and this is in this not so far back, 2005. All right. My man had 18 and 80 yards rushing, 27 rushing touchdowns, and he helped me go deep into the playoffs.
What year?
Who is he?
Was Danny Tomlinson? Danny Tomlinson.
No, that's a good guess, but no.
Olandis Gary.
No.
What team?
Sean Alexander.
Oh yeah, Sean Alexander.
Lost the rushing yard by 1 yard to Curtis, my favorite Martin.
Yep.
My favorite thing about Sean Alexander is there's a clip in The Office where Daryl and I think it's Jim are talking about fantasy football, and he says he traded Sean Alexander because he needed a defense and that it was a good trade. I'm like, oh man, you guys didn't do any research on actual fantasy football before you made that scene. So whatever. All right. You guys got anything intelligent to say before we get out of here?
Nope.
We kept it under an hour. I'm pretty proud of us.
Man. We did.
Not bad. Quarterbacks are easy. Like, it is what it is. It's more of a theory conversation than a player conversation. Next week, we'll be doing running backs. We could probably go on for 2-3 hours on that one. Especially if we get a Joe Mixon injury between now and then. It sounds like he's limping a little bit already.
Chris Evans.
Yeah. What's the update with the start time next week?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Next week, we're actually batting leadoff on the Fantasy Six Pack channel. The Fantasy Six Pack hour is going to be on Wednesday at 9:00 because Joe Bond is going to the Fantasy Football Expo, and we are not. So we're going to lead off for him and move up to 7 p.m. when we're doing our running backs. So hopefully we keep it under 2 hours, even though he never starts on time anyway. So if he's late, he's late. All right, guys. Thanks for everything. Appreciate you guys. He's at AMAC22NJ, at NMimi. I'm at JTrella20. It's been fun, Trevor. Thanks for all you do. Take us on out of here. Peace, guys. Later.
See you guys later.
See ya.